about 6 months or so. So it's not getting any oak aging. But a little bit about or background about Severo. This is fifth, sixth generation family. Tools like the koa and special knives when they're uprooting them. A blue Weber agave is typically 6 to 8 years aged before they start processing it. And they're using again traditional Quebec ovens to heat that up. A natural fermentation process is open back fermentation. So for them, it kind of maintains the natural flavor and beauty of the agave. Okay, and then they go into a double distillation process with lambic copper pot stills. And what doesn't, when we go back to the fermentation side, what doesn't get fermented, like some of the branches and things, they'll actually use a grinder to grind the rest of that juice out and add it to the distillate. So what I get when I taste this is, yeah, you get that sweetness from the blue Weber agave, but you also get kind of an earthiness to this as well, which I like. So I do. So I think I drink mine too fast. That's what I get on the executive drive. I think I got a lot of the same problem. Just want to make sure I get everything that you described in there. Yes, yeah. When you take the after you say it, it is truly a clean tasting tequila. It really is. Yeah, it is nice. And they cover the gamut in terms of their production. They do a reposado. The añejo that we're going to taste is about 18 months in American white oak.
Tones to it, uh, which for Blanco I think is really effective. And there's not a lot of ethanol on it too, because I think a lot of times people tend to shy away from Blanco tequila. It's kind of like the first thing we tend to shoot as a as a shot.
Yes.
It's Blanco tequila, but this one it's got a really nice complexity to it. Some great sweetness from the agave. But really balanced, something that you could kind of have neat and stand on its own.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. Along, you talk about some of those flavor profiles, but there's also, I get it more mid to back palate, a little nuttiness,
Yeah,
a little almond there as well. So
I'm actually picking up grass notes.
without a doubt, yeah, yep.
Like,
And that's what we were talking about, the plant. And I like when you're there's quite a few brands that I represent that try to maintain the integrity of the grain that they use. Not to get off Tequila, but I also represent being a Japanese too. And Masataka Takasuru, the founder of Nika, which is considered the father of Japanese whiskey, he learned how to still on what they call a Kofi column still. Bernie actually met great, like third, fourth generation of his Kofi. But this still is very inefficient in terms of what it still does. Exactly. But he likes it because it maintains the integrity, the taste of the grain. And that's what I see with Severo in their processes. Trying to do or use as much old world techniques as possible. Again, when you take stem, leaves, and you grind that out to get more juice, you would expect to get a little bit of that earthy, that plant, yes.
As long as he's working, I don't care about having money. He's the most important person. No one's here to hear
Dude, dude,
Yeah.
sure, but yeah.
Yeah,
I guess we did so much of a long video.
yeah, and I'd be remiss not to mention that every bottle that they make is numbered and dated. So if you want to look at that,
That number one is 4590.
yep. Every bottle. It's all. This is a small production distillery, and they're really proud of the product they make. And I went straight into Severo does this, Severo does that, but the family, well, the distillery was started by Casa Don Roberto Oradine. So now who's running it is a grandson, son and grandson. But again, it's all family basically run. You got it?
Testing, testing. All right, just switching microphones really quickly, folks. Thank you for bearing with us. We are coming to you live from Chats Liquors, and these mics will hopefully work better than the last ones.
Done because we're going to Añejo. You can keep the same glasses because Añejo starts as a Blanco, a Plata, right? Like you want to.
Indeed. So, folks, if you're just joining into the live, if we had audio issues, many apologies, but we are here at Chats Liquors for our weekly Friday spirit tasting. And today we have the honor and pleasure of having my buddy, Mr. Tony Scott, here from Hotaling and Company, as he represents Severo Tequila, 100% de agave, as well as the Fiero pepper infused or spice infused tequilas as well. And you just gave a little bit rundown, a great rundown of the Severo. Just do a quick recap of this particular plata, and then we're going to talk about the añejo.
Okay, did we get the history behind Severo or no?
Let's give the history.
Let's skip it. Okay,
yeah, just
so,
in case, right?
Casa Don Roberto. This is a distillery that was actually established in 1924, but their roots start in northern Spain. They came to Mexico in the early 1800s and started making tequila in Jalisco in 1840. But again, the official distillery was established in 1924. So you're talking about 100 years of heritage. They're still using the same family recipes to make their tequila. All Blue Weber agave azul. The humidors that go out and harvest the agave, they still use these old tools, the Kyle special blades to cut the tequila as well. The maceration process or fermentation process, they're using open vats. So for them, that maintains the integrity of the agave itself. Double distillation on the tequila. And when they're fermenting, what juices they don't get from the leaf, they actually grind those. They pull those leaves out manually. We didn't say that, but they do it manually, and then grind those leaves to get extract as much of the agave juice as possible, and add it into the distillate. So with Severo, this is all small batch process. Every bottle is numbered and dated as well. So,
So for everyone who's joining us and you online, this is a live tasting. We are literally tasting these bottles right now. If you want to buy some, come to Chats next week. No, hopefully we're still on the truck and they'll deliver product to us at some point. But that just shows you how loyal and how amazing our family, our community is, right? Where they show up on a Friday without product to sell, but they're hanging
Still
out.
here.
Still,
Yeah.
no one's complained not once yet. I would be living like, I want to taste, see where I can buy something, right? But they've been patient, and we're tasting some fantastic tequila. Once again, thanks to Tony for coming on out and being a trooper as well as he shows up. Then we don't have any product, his product to
And
sell.
I stay, right?
And you stayed, absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, hey, Mike, here's a couple more glasses right here. 1, 2, and 3. And just pour up some of that plata, and then we'll hand it along. I think Steve is there, and he will help usher that to who needs it. So this Blanco is just so beautiful. It's so developed. There's so much flavor and depth just in the plata. I should call it's a plata, not a Blanco. It's a plata.
So,
Is there a difference?
I think it's just their terminology.
Yeah.
I don't know of a difference between Plata or Blanco.
Yeah. Is the plata rested at all, folks?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, so it is rested.
It is rested
but it's all stainless steel.
Right.
So it's not
Okay.
touching any oak. So
Okay.
it's rested about 6 to 8 months.
Okay. Indeed.
And again, I don't think we covered it in this section, but like you talked about those taste profiles where they're just multiple. You know, you get that little earthiness, you get the sweetness from the agave, you get some almond nutty notes as well. To me, I get it in the mid palate, the back mid palate, so to speak. But it's just such a layered tasting tequila, and that's what I prefer when I'm tasting tequila. Especially in my old age, I've gravitated back to Blancos, Platas, and because to me they're just really, really clean. When I'm drinking anything aged, typically it's bourbon, it's a whiskey. So, but I say that because we lead into our añejo. So we've talked about the process with the Plata. So naturally, the same process with the añejo, with an addition of the Platas being aged for 18 months.
Yes.
In American white oak. So what you get, if you look at this bottle, I don't know if you can see it, but that's a deep brown color.
Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah, and my thought process when I first seen it was, this is just going to be too oaky. I'm not going to get those sweet notes. I'm not going to get those agave flavors at all. Right. But you actually do.
You do.
You poured yours?
Do. Yes, yeah. I have it. Yeah. Let's see. There might be, I don't know. How are you all doing on the añejo?
Yes, I got mine. So they're first.
Okay, they're still on the first.
Okay.
Graham, did you have your...
You didn't get the second? The añejo? Okay.
There we go. I'll pour Grams. And then, let's see. Anyone who needs añejo, I can pour that up for you. Indeed. Ready for some añejo? Beautiful añejo. I love the integration. Okay. Indeed. Right? Exactly. Why? That's right. Don't let it. For sure. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do a little blend. This is a little. That's a reposado now. A little blanco with some añejo.
Yeah, it's a reposado.
Now it's a reposado. Indeed. Absolutely. Well, folks, this añejo, we're talking about probably about 12 months?
18
months, you said?
Yep.
Wow. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Beautiful stuff. Oh, you need new? Okay. Beautiful. How many? 2? Okay. Fantastic. Folks, it's a live tasting right here at Chats. Shout out to everybody who is online. Let me see something here. Who is this? Hello? Hey, yes, indeed. Yes.
So,
did you taste yours, Max?
Yes.
Okay.
So give me a little bit of what I'm tasting here.
So up front first.
Yep.
I got I don't know if you did, but I got spice. I got cinnamon spice, which is really nice. I definitely got that.
Yeah.
You still get that sweetness from the agave. With the oak, one of the other gentlemen was talking about the earthiness, the greenness. That's kind of toned down with the añejo. Yeah, it's definitely bourbon-esque.
Yeah.
Whiskey forward. So
how long has this been aged?
So this is 18.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
in
The main thing
charred
is
new American oak?
you would think that, again, looking at the color,
Yeah.
you wouldn't get some of those sweet caramel notes, but you get that.
Yeah,
The agave flavors still come out.
of course. And I think too, it also has probably something to do with where this is being aged, you know, in the intense hot climate of
Yes,
Mexico.
of Mexico.
Like, yeah,
Yes.
of course it's going to have a little bit more, even at 18 months, have a lot more traction than, you know, something that would maybe be somewhere in the States.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And again, we did have the question earlier. Someone asked, where is the distillery located?
Yeah.
And it would be considered the Highlands, but the lower Highlands.
Yeah. Let's ask around with the people that are here, get a little bit. So anyone have any thoughts they want to share about this tequila? Like, no pressure whatsoever, but anyone, like, even a thumbs up of like, yeah, I like it, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's yeah.
OG.
Yeah. How you doing?
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier too. Like, I think a lot of times with Blanco tequila is like we have this like trauma of college, hopefully college, you know, shooting tequila shots. But this one is really unique on its own. It has a lot of really nice complexity to it.
Yeah.
Even, you know, neat.
Any other thoughts on the Añejo?
Second one, it was good.
Okay.
It had more bite, you know,
Yeah.
Okay.
whereas the first one was so
The Plata. Yeah. The Plata. Yeah. I love the Plata. I really do. I really do.
Both of them are same proof?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
You ready? Okay.
Yeah, you can combo.
Okay.
But make sure you're in the shot.
Yeah.
Keep your eye on it.
He's there. He's there. He's there. Okay, so we are going to move into two other products, but still the same distillery. Thank you.
Who else wants round two of Añejo? Yeah. You know, I'm like right in the middle of the shot. Anyone else?
You get like that bourbonette. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's really whiskey, but you still get. What's interesting though, again, with that long of an aging, the agave flavors, that sweet agave flavor, you still get that in the mid palate. But yeah, you definitely get some of those vanilla nutty notes, caramel. We were talking about like up front, where sometimes, well, a lot of bourbons, especially if they've got some rye content, you get some spiciness up front, and you got that with that Añejo, which is nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now talking about spice, that's almost the perfect segue to what we're moving into right now.
Without a doubt, Mike. So again, I said before that we're not talking about a different distillery. We're talking about a different product. Okay. So same distillery. So for Hotaling, we are importers of Severo. We technically are importers of Fiero, but Severo makes Fiero for us. So this is our product. It's a product that we own. And the Fiero is made same Blue Weber agave. They make the tequila first, and then they buy the peppers from the local farmers market, crush those peppers. It's about a 30-day maceration process or infusion to get the right flavor heat with the peppers, and then they charcoal filter it out and then bottle. Okay, so very, very nice. The Serrano, and if you don't know like levels in a heat Scoville scale, Serrano peppers are about 24,000. 24, 25,000 on the heat Scoville scale. So not one of the hottest peppers, but it's hot. The habanero is between 100,000 and 300,000 on the heat Scoville
Quite a
scale.
bit.
It's one of the hottest peppers.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Jalapenos, like probably if you take 3 jalapenos, that might get as close to 1 habanero.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's close to like 500,000 Scoville.
did you pour yours?
No, I have not yet.
I will pour
I'll
you
go.
because I know you're going to pour everybody
Yeah.
else.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So we have Serrano infused tequila. Anyone else want? Is this the pour, or are they done? They're done. They left. Okay. This one I might go a little light on for people because I think it's Oh, I will. This one is interesting with the infusion.
So everyone, there will, after we finish these next two, there will be a question.
A question.
There will be a
A
question.
pop quiz.
Not you. You won't be tested. It's not tested. You won't be tested on it, but there will be a question. Because as I present the Fiero tequilas, which mean fire, okay, as I present these Fiero tequilas to
I can smell
a lot of
it
restaurants,
smells like
I get mixed reviews in terms of really which one tastes the hottest.
this is the Serrano
Spicy.
infused.
It is. It is. So I've had people tell me no, the Serrano is hotter than the habanero.
But it's totally different.
Spicy.
Same brand.
Exactly.
Same brand.
Same brand, same distillery.
And
just
I
different
have
label,
I have a
different name, but it's made by the same
as well.
distillery.
As well. So taste it. Yeah.
Same one? I can go light.
We
for anyone
initially
But it's
was going to
now.
do
How these go, yep.
a cocktail with the Fiero, and we were going to make a cantarita, which is 2 parts the tequila, ½ ounce lime juice, ½ ounce orange juice, ½ ounce grapefruit juice, and then shake that or stir it, and then finish it or top it with a squirt. So a sparkling grapefruit soda. Very refreshing, very nice.
All
Okay.
right, let's see. I've always been iffy in the past about like infused tequila.
Infused.
Yeah, just because I think sometimes they can lean a little too heavy on the spice, and it's like it's great in a cocktail, but for me, I like it neat and to sip on. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Well, so for me,
Oh wow.
I'm not totally into infusions.
Yeah.
At all, but if you're gonna do it, I want it to be natural.
Yeah.
I want it to taste like what you say it's infused with.
Mhm.
And I think with this Serrano and the habanero, but we're tasting the Serrano now, you get those pepper notes,
Yeah.
kind of black pepper. You get, there's spice there. You get that.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's
Wow.
true to taste. It's true to description. And it doesn't taste artificial.
Not at all. And this is something that for those that are riding the new trend of a spicy margarita,
Yes.
this is your bottle for that.
Yes.
If you're trying to pick something up for Memorial Day weekend to make a spicy marg, this is that
This is it.
bottle.
This is it. This is it.
It's not artificial. It's got a really nice balance of heat to where it doesn't immediately come at you and you're like, oh, I need water. It's
Yeah.
so hot. But it coats your tongue and the palate in a very balanced way, which
Yes, it does. And again, it tastes like a Serrano pepper.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Serrano.
Stepping it up.
This is the
That's
Serrano.
the
We haven't even
Serrano.
gotten to the
We haven't gotten to
habanero.
the habanero. The habanero
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, so this would be the habanero will probably be quite big of a
Yes.
difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we talked about, spicy margaritas
Yep.
being very popular now. I mean,
Yep.
you'd be remiss to go in any restaurant that doesn't have a spicy margarita. But we talked about the canarita, which we were going to do today,
That would have been
which
amazing.
has a lot of
Yeah.
juices: the lime juice, the
Yep.
orange juice, the grapefruit juice, the
Yeah.
tequila, as well as then you top it off with
Yeah.
a sparkling grapefruit soda.
Yeah.
Something as simple as squirt.
Yep.
Okay.
So I dropped it home. I have a sake that I like.
Okay.
And I dropped that.
Okay.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Stop all that labor when you have something that
Yeah,
you can
for
just
real.
stop. Exactly. And enjoy.
I think this would be good too, like a ranch water, like for someone that just wants to keep it simple.
Yep.
Slice of lime, some nice Topo Chico, a nice mineral
Without a doubt.
seltzer, and even if you want to go, I mean,
Paloma.
yeah,
Spicy
that's what I was
Paloma.
gonna say, a spicy
Simple.
Paloma,
Yep.
like
Wait.
this might be the tequila of the summer right
So
here.
Mike, when Bernie and I was deciding on what cocktail, what did I give you? Margarita, Canarita, Paloma.
Yeah. I
I think you need to give a scoop of lime sorbet.
ooh, okay.
Wow. There you go.
Sorbet.
Limes. That's simple.
Okay.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I like that. A lot of great ideas for summer. But this is it. Like this is I know Cinco de Mayo's past, but like I know once the weather is warm, people are gonna be looking for those like kind of, spirit forward cocktails,
Right.
especially with tequila. And this
Right.
is a great one.
Right. Definitely. Definitely.
Definitely. They have the Pisco sour. Substitute this instead of Pisco.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can do that. You can do that. Yeah. You can do that. Yep. You can do that easily. Yep. Yep. So,
Ready for the habanero?
habanero.
I'll let you pour that, Bernie. That's gonna be some.
I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna have to also grab a couple more glasses. So eventually, I may hand it your way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure everybody has. Yeah.
I would maybe go light with the habanero because it's gonna be quite a big difference on the spice level.
Oh, we are live. We are live. Indeed.
You're good.
So while we're pouring around on the habanero, why don't we tell the people that are listening or the people at home kind of what we're tasting here?
Okay, so the next iteration of Fiero is the habanero, and I think we said it earlier. We were talking about it in terms of like the heat level on the heat Scoville scale, where habanero is one of the hottest peppers. On that heat Scoville scale, you're looking at 100,000 to 300,000 heat level. So it hits you.
Yeah. I want to watch some of the reaction. I wish we could get another camera to watch kind of people start
Right.
sipping on this to see
Right,
as it first hits them.
right, right.
Right. So yeah, we know.
Okay.
Maybe I ought to just put an arm in there. I'm gonna put an arm in there.
And I don't know about you, Mike, but I love heat.
Yeah.
I the hotter,
Yep.
the better. I love heat.
I'm the same way.
The Serrano's fantastic.
Yeah.
I really like that tequila, but I'll say this: my favorite is the habanero.
Get some of yours yet? Yeah.
I'm good. Yep. Yep. No. I still got the. I have the habanero.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
On the nose,
Well, he's there.
what's interesting is on the nose, I get a lot less pepper than the Serrano.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
and it almost feels deceiving how little the pepper note is on the aroma.
Did you hear what I said I was going to ask after everyone tasted both?
I don't think so. I was too
So you were-
focused.
you were- yeah,
I was too
I think
focused
you-
in server mode.
Yeah.
So what was the question
So
you were gonna?
I didn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
Well, we did talk about it. I'm sorry. Which one do they feel is the hottest? So we'll ask that question.
Yeah.
But you made a very good point, which is why some of the people that I've tasted on the Fiero, Serrano, and the Habanero felt like the Serrano was hotter.
Yeah,
Was
I
spicier.
absolutely would say so.
Exactly. Again, especially at what did we say? We said Serrano's 24,000 on the heat Scoville scale, where Habanero is 100 to 300,000.
Yeah.
So what's the hottest?
Ghost pepper. Or
Well,
Carolina
no,
Reaper.
but between those
Oh,
two.
yeah, the Serrano. Yeah, yeah.
No, the Habanero.
Oh, yes.
But
Right on the palate. Yeah.
taste wise, and here's what I think. When you taste the Habanero, the Serrano Habanero, the heat hits you. And then what happens is those sweet flavors of the agave finishes and just sweetens it and smooths it out. You get hit with heat and then mellowed out because of the agave. Where the Serrano, the pepper flavor stays with you from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So that's my analogy.
Yeah, and I was sitting here and I was just like, all right, maybe we should pour a little bit less, thinking about how hot the Serrano was on the palate. But really, with this Habanero, there's so much complexity and some really subtle sweetness to it that balances it out really well.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. That heat and sweetness, it tones it down.
And I think too, if you enjoy the flavor of these peppers, like we were talking about earlier, we both like spicy food, and sometimes it's like, I'll do it Thai spice, because I want that straight heat. Right. But also, there's a lot of great flavor and complexity from these peppers, from the fruit, that it really shines with the habanero.
Yeah. Yes, it does. And I think it's great that they're not Casa Don Roberto. It's not mass buying these peppers. They're actually supporting the community, buying from these farmers markets and getting the peppers from there.
No, it's incredible. It's an incredible story, and I think too, especially in the tequila market, where you probably see this being a distributor, it's starting to become a big trend where people more and more are getting into tequilas. I know a lot of my friends that are into bourbon. Yeah, I know a lot of my friends that are getting into bourbon all of a sudden are sneaking into the tequila scene.
Yes.
It's great that from the jump they are here to support their local community and distill, in a very authentic, natural way.
Yes. And you hear about how people are gravitated to tequila now, moving into that segment. But there's also some health reasons too, because less sugar, no calories.
Buzz, bro.
And I think everyone's looking for additive-free tequilas, which I think Severo is highlighting extremely well, being 100% agave with no additives. So what is this?
That's the order.
The order.
That's the order.
Unbelievable, folks that are watching on the Facebook Live, on YouTube. The context here is that for the last 4 hours we have been waiting for product for this tasting. The fine folks here at Chaps have been waiting to buy some of this tequila. Just arrived 7 o'clock on the dot. It's here. So if you're watching at home, you want to get a great bottle of tequila for the holiday weekend. The weather is going to be fantastic. Warm yourself up, maybe on a little bit of a low 70s, high 60s degree day with some Fiero or Severo here at Chaps.
Good day to buy any of these.
Bernie, is
and by the way, that's Steve down here helping.
Bernie, is there a special today on the Severo and Fiero bottles?
Yeah. So we are talking about buy any Añejo or Plata Severo and get a bottle of Fiero.
Okay. Wow. So you get a bottle of Añejo, either Plata or Añejo Severo, and you get a bottle of the
Añejo.
Fiero tequila free.
Indeed.
Hasn't brought it in yet.
So if I buy one of these, I get one of those.
Yep.
There you go.
And if I buy another one of these, I get another one. There you go. I want two of these. How many?
So I want to ask around. So Tony and I have been talking about how. Actually, I don't want to steal your thunder, Tony. Do you want to ask the question? Yes, you asked it to me. I've heard. I don't think anyone else has been paying attention.
Okay.
Do you want to ask the question?
Which with the Fieros, which one did you think was hotter?
Habanero.
Really?
Okay, habanero. With the Fiero, which one did you think was hotter?
The first of the pepper tequila or the second of the pepper tequila?
It lingers. Flavor.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I like that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That smelled hot. It didn't smell hot.
Yeah.
It didn't feel hot when I first tasted it, but then the heat.
Right. Right.
Chill that wind.
And I feel the same way. I agree with you, but it's just interesting to me that throughout my travels, tasting people in these products, that I found people thinking that the Serrano was spicier, hotter. Because me and Mike talked about it, where that Serrano pepper hits you from beginning to end
Yeah.
and stays with you. And the way the habanero is, and I agree with you, where you still have that heat at the end, but it's not as hot as when it hits you in the beginning. And they're not in the heat; they're not spicy people. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So if you're brave enough to wait it out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Habanero's gonna get that spot.
Yeah.
I think both of these bottles have like some really unique cocktail inspiration behind them. Like I think the Serrano really fits well with the palomas, the spicy margaritas. But honestly, the habanero I think would be really great, like as a ranch water, just something simple, with just a little bit
Spicy
of complexity.
shot. Something
Something
just
connect.
top some lime,
A chilled shot of
Yeah.
that would be fantastic. Even like a frozen margarita with the habanero, I think would
They want to.
add some complexity.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah. 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 Yep. And the lime and orange and stuff is right in there. And they're black. Yeah. So,
Maybe we will get there.
yeah. Okay.
They didn't have. Couldn't bring it up.
Okay. It was on the order.
Yeah, Bernie just said they didn't have any.
Yeah. So Bernie, I'm just. What is the special that you're running? Again?
The special that I have.
Buy one of these, get one of these free.
Get one of those free. Like literally.
Where else are you gonna find that?
I will.
You ain't gonna find that anywhere on Capitol Hill, let alone Washington D.C.
You won't find
No one else is
Nowhere.
giving deals like that.
Nowhere.
No.
Well, for me, I manage 3 states, and you won't find it.
Hopefully, gonna have to lean into that.
Didn't have it.
Unfortunately, the
They didn't have
Añejo-
it. Short on truck. Or they didn't. Short on
No,
truck.
it was on the inboard.
Yeah.
It's not.
I was going to say something else.
Yes, it is. Well, I tell you, anyone who wants to get into the private spirit trade, you must realize that sometimes you wait for products, you think products are going to show up, and they don't show up, or they show up super late. And then when they show up super late, sometimes they still don't show up. What? Thanks for that.
It's not always rainbows and butterflies
Exactly.
in the distribution
So
system.
what's the quick version? We expect the unexpected.
And always expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. There you go. Absolutely. But it's been a phenomenal time. I guess this is a great time to end the live. So, Tony.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
you are welcome.
expertise.
You are welcome.
Thanks for
You're
everything.
welcome.
And, for your insight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Moving on
Thank you guys
from
for your
Whiskey
patience and
Wednesday to
everything.
Tequila Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining tonight. And as a reminder, come out to chat.